Yeah, we'll get started. Hello, welcome to another episode of the EJB Talk Show. Today, my name is Amiel, and today I am joined by two amazing musicians here under the UFT Music Building. We have Hoi Tong Keung and Bevis Ng, the KöNG Duo. I'm very excited, but how are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. We just finished our rehearsal.
What kind of rehearsal?
So, Bevis's roommate, who is a composer, Fish, is writing us a piece for Marimba and Mallet Station and spoken Cantonese. So we just did a workshop session with him on one of the movements that he just wrote. So you want a little introduction to the piece?
Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, the piece is actually about like games in Hong Kong. So games that we played in different stages of our lives.
Right.
So this movement is about like elementary school games. So
Wow.
that would be like, it's about like building your own territory.
Yeah.
And then we try to attack each other's territory.
Right.
So there would be like sound effects to enhance the gameplay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is this like being showcased somewhere? Like, is it
So-
for a festival?
It will be showcased in both of our recital and some more festival. Like there will be one.
Which I don't know whether we can talk about that yet.
Yeah,
That's okay.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
like there will be
Yeah,
other
but-
performance.
Right.
We will actually have our American debut
Wow.
with this piece.
Shoot. You're currently second year DMA here and you're second year masters. And when did you guys start like marketing yourself as a duo? Like the first time you guys like played together? Like where did that come from, you'd say?
So actually, Iron put us together.
Really?
We've had this idea of playing as a duo. Like we plan to have this piece that we are currently working on. So that would be like, okay, we will start a duo in our second year of studies here. But then last year, around this time,
Yeah.
Okay.
we were planning on going to different summer festivals, but then we got rejected by all of them.
Really?
So in Beavis' lesson with Iron asked him, "Oh, do you want to play as a duo with Hoi Tong?" He's like, "Yeah." And she said, "You should apply for Banff." And then, so she was like, "Okay, let's go on their website and see when the deadline is." She's like, "Oh, the deadline is tonight."
It was your birthday too.
and then Beavis emailed them, and then they were like, "Yeah, we can extend the deadline for you. Like, we have to come up with a whole proposal and all that, and a name and all that."
Yeah, I was
They
gonna say,
okay,
the
we're going to
name was-
extend it for 1 day.
Oh wow.
So we had a day to put together a proposal, but then we got accepted. So basically we formed to go to Banff.
Right.
But then like Banff is the Evolution Classical program is really good to like help us develop our career. Like they encourage people to think a lot more like beyond this project, and like most of the participants there were already pre-formed groups that have been playing together for a year or more.
Right.
So we learned from all of them and also the mentors, and then we start to plan as a duo, like thinking about long-term goals.
You're basically saying like the duo thing was not even like a consideration for you guys before then, essentially? Like,
Well, we have like thought about it, but it's less like a concrete stuff until the day that Ian asked us to do that.
Right.
And then after we haven't even like think of other program back then. We just have that one particular program for the concert in Banff. But during the time in Banff, and we've been like talking to each other for so long, and we start to like come up with some common grounds in our like artistic vision, and we can see like a more concrete future that we want to establish as a duo.
right.
Yeah, I think like when we first thought of playing as a duo like this year, like our original one, I don't think we thought of like any long-term. Like we were thinking just, okay, we are like really good friends. So
just the festival.
Not even before that, before going to the festival, we were just like, yeah, we want to play together for fun, but not like as an established duo like our teacher, because our teacher Matthew Lau has a duo with Abby, the Fisher Lau project. So I don't think we thought of going that far back then.
Yeah.
Back then. Is
Yeah.
that kind of in the air now? Like,
But
or
now,
kind
like-
of straight up the case? Like, what do you...
I feel like we do want to like make it into a thing. Like,
Wow, okay.
it's kind of like something that I found very important for me as a musician. It's like playing with people and playing duo, especially. It's more vulnerable, I would say. Like,
Right.
because you have only the other person to depend on, and that's something that I feel like it's very beautiful as an
Right.
art.
How is UFT, like, since the new year, like last September, how has like the provisions here really supported you guys as a duo?
So, well, there's this financial support
Right.
for us going to have our European debut back in November. So we perform in the percussion sections in the Trump competitions.
Right.
And we are lucky to have the Tapir Lab to fund us to go to there to perform and to get to know about the people there.
Right. Yeah,
And
anything?
also, Iron, she invited us to perform in the Thursday at Noon series.
Right. That was the first of the year too,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that? Like,
That was
there was
really
a,
good.
there was a huge audience for that, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were nervous because that was our Toronto debut.
Right.
And also like we only have like this small like slot that we can fit in our more like 30-minute program into an 8 to 10-minute slot, so we kind
Right.
of like choose some of the better movements or like
Right.
better
I think it's like lighthearted movements.
light-hearted movements. Yeah.
Right. I'm very curious about this because especially Hoi Tong, like you've been like playing this kind of music for like a long time because you have masters already, right? And like you're like at it too, but have you guys ever had any like prior attempts at duos with other people that haven't gone well? And like maybe also describe how this one has clicked, like just significantly more than others. Like, what would you say?
Do you want to start first, or should I
Sure,
start?
I can talk though.
Because I have more to say.
Right.
Yeah. So I've only had like
Oh.
I've only played with like one other person in my undergrad as
Okay.
a duo. We played together for 2 years, but then I think back then I wasn't as exposed as a musician, and the music that we played were still like the most famous percussion duos and
Right.
marimba duos
Yeah.
specifically.
And was that duo assigned by your teacher as well, or?
It wasn't. But then,
Okay.
like, back in my undergrad, the studio was really small. There were only, like, 5 to 6 percussionists in total.
Wow, okay.
So I just played. So there was no one above me, the year above me, and I was the only percussionist in my year, and there was one percussionist below me.
Right.
So we just played together. But then, it wasn't, like, it was just, like, okay, we played together. We also rehearsed one piece per year. 1 to 2 pieces.
So, like-
So it's like very slow.
Yeah.
And then and it's also like just focused on the music, but then like nothing more than that. Or like we didn't think about having our own concert or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And how about you?
So for me, prior to this duo, I have 2 more duo that I,
Like currently, or like kind of just like
like
history kind
His-
of thing?
history. Yeah. So the first one, I feel like it's more like because this duo we formed it in our freshman year.
Here,
And-
yeah.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
that one. Oh, yeah.
The
last-
first duo that I formed in my undergrad.
Right.
So there's this duo that I formed in my freshman year, and we kind of, I feel like we're not mature in that time, and some of the problem are we didn't have like so I really like the analogy of saying that duo it's like a marriage.
Okay.
It's like a relationship,
Yeah.
basically. So I feel like we didn't have a good communication between the both of us.
And was that mutually like between like music or even just like personality wise? Like what would you say?
It's a mixture of music and also personal stuff.
Right.
So I didn't handle the problem well, and we didn't continue our duo. But the second one, it's a really good duo that I had back in Hong Kong that I start to play duo with her in my sophomore year. And because back then we both also studied privately with Matthew Lau.
Right.
And then...
it's Mickey.
Yeah. And so for her, so she is like much older than me.
Right.
And she has to do a chamber recital for her master degree.
Right.
And she was like, oh, can I play a duo and a challenging one? So Matthew suggested this piece, Travel Diary by Paul Lansky for her. And she reached out to me and we played the duo. Then through the duo, we kind of understand that we have a lot like similar thought in musical wise and also like life wise. So we've become very good friends and we continue the duo, but it's more like similar to Hoi Tong. We doesn't have like long-term plans, but we do have like lots of like dreams of, oh, I want to play this rap, this very hard rap, and these very challenging one, or like I even tried to incorporate her in most of my recitals back in Hong Kong. So there's this piece that we prepared but we didn't play at last is The Loneliness of Santa Claus.
Okay.
And there's this next piece, this other piece by Applebaum that uses gestures and hitting like random instruments called Gone Dog Gone. And that piece, I did program it in my graduation recital back in Hong Kong. So this duo, we end like good, but the reason we didn't like continue it because I have to be here.
Right.
So
what is it about like this duo now, the KöNG Duo, that like kind of significantly clicks, especially for you, because yours kind of mutually didn't really end up happening. But like I also like with that question, I think it's very interesting because from what it seems, it's kind of like a more assigned duo, more arranged. You know what I mean? Like your prior duos have been like out of your fruition kind of thing. But like, what about your playing, both of you? Like, do you feel like really clicks with each other in that way?
Actually, I would say this duo might be the most organic one out of
Really?
like
yes.
organic as in it's like an extension of our friendship because like before playing together as a duo, we already hung out together a lot last year. Like we had many like long chats, just like walking around the city.
The
and
Hong Kong
like,
gang too.
Yeah. But because last year like the
There's
Hong Kong,
only us.
it was
You
just
two
like
and Kelsey.
Yeah, but also me and him and Fish. Like
Right.
I would hang out in their apartment, so we spent a lot of time together, just
Right.
like chatting about music
Music,
and
life.
also life. Yeah, like
Yeah.
talking about our experience as international students and like shared identity and all that. So when we started playing together, well, we also
Have similar training too.
yeah, we had similar training and we played together in like trios, quartets.
Right.
But then like so when we started playing as a duo, it actually came pretty naturally.
Yep.
So like the way we count or like
How we breathe, how we like think of strokes or like color, it's pretty similar.
yeah.
Right.
So it was actually like very natural for us.
Right. Wow, that's very interesting.
But then like there was
yeah.
it was also interesting like I think our like the mode of working was different in the like over the course of the year.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, our let's say the way we work or the way we rehearse, it was still more like as friends.
Yeah.
But now we would get into a working mode and then like it's still I wouldn't say it's like very formal, but then
work.
it's more structured.
Yeah.
I'd say.
How would you say? Like,
So,
yeah.
Because now, let's say so we have our own email account,
Okay.
and we would put like rehearsals and like proposal writing into our Google Calendar, like the shared Google
Right.
Calendar.
Right.
So it becomes like, okay, this is a time to work on this particular thing.
Right.
Versus like before, it would just be like,
Oh, let's work on this.
Yeah,
like
oh.
more spontaneous.
Yeah.
But then now I think as we get busier and as the duo, like we have more goals, we have
more
to
goals and more gigs.
yeah. So we have to be like more organized and work more as like an organization.
Yeah,
if
that's
that
right.
makes sense.
And how would you say, like, because you guys are about to be like a year as a duo, how has it like affected your kind of personal like goals in that way, like conflicted with it? Like, what would you like if you know what I mean by that, right?
It definitely uses a lot of my time and energy.
Right.
We also like wrote quite a few proposals this year. Like so for most people don't know that we're part of Tapir Lab, which is a lab that Ayun runs, and she really encourages her research assistants to apply for conferences and performances outside school. So we were being very ambitious and we applied to like 4 conferences and performances. So like writing those proposals require
So
like
much
brain
time.
capacity to like actually explain what you're doing, because we're so used to like, okay, we play this piece, but then like, why do people have to program you in their festival?
Right.
And so we would have to like reflect a lot on what we are doing and what we want to do as a duo. And then also like rehearsing, and those also requires time and practicing our own parts. So yeah, like I would say I've given up personal practice time on my solo rep for the duo and more, but then it's all worth it. Like,
I think for me is I don't feel like it conflicts with my personal interest, because I always feel like I want to start a group.
Okay.
Oh, you've started a group.
I have other groups in Hong Kong.
Right.
And I always feel the need of like having people around me. So like starting a group isn't really conflicting, but instead it's more like I feel like it will help me as a person to do my personal goals as well.
Right. And what, like, is that kind of for you, like, your kind of end goal in that sense? Like always playing alongside people? Like, what would you...
That's a good question. So, I really enjoy playing chamber music.
Right.
Like, any kinds of chamber music. Not large ensemble, but I don't like to count. Let's put it that way. I couldn't count rest. But yeah, chamber music is fun. And I feel like it's part of my life, but also there's a part of me that really likes to do like solo recital.
That's right.
And what's the question?
Like your personal end goal in terms of like your playing, as if you'd say like you're always just gonna keep being part of groups in that sense, or I phrased.
Do both.
You want to do both, right? I phrased that really poorly. That's my bad.
I just want to do everything.
Right.
Except large ensembles.
Yes.
But I'm also very curious about this other thing. It's kind of jumping back in a chronological sense, but like, was like Toronto the first time you guys like ever met last year? Like, or have you guys like known of each other before, known each other at all?
So
we
met each other. So we both come from Hong Kong.
That's right.
But we never met each other before we actually met at a festival in the States.
Okay. Did you go to the same school for undergrad, both of
No.
you? No. Okay.
So We met in 2017 at the Zeltzman Marimba Festival,
Right.
and
This is in Boston.
that one was at Rutgers,
Oh,
so
okay.
in New Jersey. He was about to get into his undergrad, and then I
Oh,
just
wow.
graduated from undergrad.
Right. Oh, so you guys are 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you are, right?
Yeah.
4 years apart.
Oh, wow. Damn. I did not even. I did not consider that.
But he's more mature as a musician than I am.
Than you are.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm confident about my artistic vision, at least. But
Right.
her strength is, like, organizing stuff,
Right.
which I'm very bad at. Because,
Right.
like, when we are talking about proposal, I have, like, lots of idea and messy mind. And she is like, okay, so this is not useful. We don't need this. Okay, this might be useful. We can see how we can use it.
And you take well to that.
Yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
I'm like, cause I know my weakness,
Right.
and we kind of like,
We complement each other.
yeah,
very well.
Right. I think I'm gonna start wrapping this up because
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not going as far back as your earliest musical days, but what advice would you guys have for anyone like seeking to just like actively start duos, like a committed duo like what you guys have right now?
make friends with the people first.
Okay.
I feel like that's really true, cause once you're a friend with someone, you will start to know their personality more, and that's kind of help the duo to run longer, at least. But if you're being friend with someone and you notice something that you might not work to do, like it might not work like as a duo, but you will work as a friend,
Right.
like those kind of thing.
Right.
So make friends with someone first, and then
You also kind of need the trust. Like
Yeah.
when you start, like after you started the friendship, then you'll start trusting each other. And trust is not just like in terms of working, but also like counting, because
Right.
like chamber music, you can't just count independently, because in that way, even though you're like playing the exact rhythm, it's not a duo. Like
Right.
so, I think, yeah, like trusting each other start, and also you need to have the same musical vision. So like,
or
after,
at least find some common ground.
Right.
You need to find a common ground
Right.
between the both of you.
Right.
but it's not. Yeah, it's not just about like duos. Like any ensembles, like don't just go into a rehearsal. Like be like, okay, now we're rehearsing, and then after rehearsal, bye. Like just like stay around, like have meals together, chat about things. That like sometimes you can't really explain how it works, but
Yeah.
like
It's
being
like a
friends
relationship.
really helps.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of people who already kind of found their duo and kind of taking it to the next level of taking it more seriously, what kind of advice would you give for that?
I think explore different repertoire.
Okay.
Don't just play what everyone else is playing.
Right.
Also, make friends with composers so that you can like have more pieces that are
For you.
like
Right.
then you can find your own artistic voice, because you don't want to be like just another duo. Like you want to be like, oh, I remember this duo because they have this piece that is like very cool, or like yeah, I think like not just piece, like adaptations also work, or like anything.
Yeah.
Just like have something that is uniquely yours
Right.
and find your own identity.
Yeah, because that's important, like realistically. It's like you have to think, so if you want to like take the duo seriously, so you want to get concert or get gigs, you need to like, so you need to know why the organizer want to choose you as a duo group and not the other people.
Right.
And finding your own niche, or like not necessarily like niche, but just like one word that's special about your duo, then that will like make a difference
Take
in
a
the
long,
game.
like give a long way, right? Yeah, that's awesome actually. I'm gonna ask that final question I ask in every episode. What are some personal, well, not personal, but like some goals for the duo that you guys have from now until the end of the year?
It's not like goals. The end of the academic year.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Well,
It's just like we have so much
We have-
lined up.
Oh yeah.
we have things to do.
Oh,
Almost every month we have some sort of performance. Either
oh man.
just the duo, and we are also playing in a quartet with Randall and Brayden.
Right.
We're doing
And
third construction in both of their recitals as well,
oh, it's for both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be so crazy.
and some other pieces. So
Yeah.
we have a lot.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We
Yeah.
will have a duo performance at the TD Music Hall
Yeah.
on May 20th.
Okay.
So-
Any other dates that you guys want to just put out there?
Is recital your recital?
My recital is at the 11th of April.
Okay.
We'll be premiering
Fish's
Fish's
Piece.
Right.
Yeah, I think these are the two biggest
Yeah.
events that we would want to invite you all to come.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. This has been an amazing episode. Thank you guys for doing this upon your crazy busy schedules. But yeah, this has been the KöNG Duo on the EJB Talk Show. Thank you guys for watching. This has been so much fun, and see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye bye.